Okay, let's be honest for a second. Waking up early, it kind of feels like a chore, right? A necessary evil we all dread. But what if it's not a chore? What if it's actually a hidden source of power? Today, we're going to get into the story of how those quiet, dark hours before sunrise became one man's ultimate secret weapon, and how he used it to completely change his destiny. You know that feeling? You set your alarm for 5 a.m., you're full of ambition, and then you just hit snooze again and again, and wake up feeling guilty. You tell yourself, oh, I'm just not a morning person. But that little nagging feeling, that feeling that the world is moving on without you, well, that is exactly where our story begins today. So we're going to follow the journey of this guy named Thomas. He had absolutely nothing going for him except exhaustion and this deep sense of being trapped. But his story, it proves that your entire life can be reshaped in those quiet hours before the sun even thinks about rising. This might just be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Okay, so to really get the power of his transformation, we first have to understand just how bad his situation was. See, Thomas wasn't just stuck in a rut. He was literally living his life completely backwards, totally out of sync with the rest of the world. So this is his reality. I mean, look at this. Thomas worked hard, really hard, as a night security guard, from 8 p.m. all the way to 6 a.m. But all that hard work, it was getting him nowhere. He was stuck in a tiny apartment, always tired, and just haunted by this one terrifying question. Is this really going to be my life forever? The thing is, he wasn't lazy. Not at all. He was just trapped in a system that was designed for him to fail. And this right here, this shows you the core of the problem perfectly. Thomas was living backwards. While the rest of the world was working and making connections, he was asleep. And while the world slept, he was working all alone. This schedule kept him totally isolated, totally invisible. He was literally sleeping while his own future was being decided by everyone else. Every great story has that one big turning point. For Thomas, it was a crazy collision of two things: a family crisis that pushed him to the edge, and then a chance encounter that gave him just a tiny sliver of hope. So it all started when his mother collapsed from exhaustion. Seeing her lying in that hospital bed, just so weak, Thomas didn't just feel sad. The source material says he felt a rage at his own helplessness. And that rage, that became the rocket fuel he needed. Suddenly, it wasn't just about him anymore. He absolutely had to find a way out for his family. And then this happens. He's on a bus at dawn and he meets this successful older businessman, a Mr. Chen, who gives him this one single piece of advice. This idea that the hours between 5 and 7 in the morning are magic hours, well, that was the exact blueprint Thomas had been desperately searching for. It was a real, tangible secret from someone who had already made it. So Mr. Chen didn't just give him some vague, inspirational quote. No, he gave Thomas a simple, powerful, and totally non-negotiable system. So let's break down exactly what this 2-hour system really looks like. Okay, just do the math on this for a second, because it's kind of mind-blowing. 2 extra hours a day, that adds up to 730 hours in a year. You know what that is? That's the equivalent of 91 extra 8-hour workdays. Think about that. In 1 year, you gain 3 full months of productive time that everybody else just wastes by sleeping. I mean, that is a massive, life-altering advantage. And here it is, the blueprint for those magic hours. It is so simple and so structured. The first hour, 5 to 6 a.m., that's for building skills. You're learning something that will directly change your financial future. Then the second hour is for building your body and your mind. Exercising, reading, planning your day. It's perfect. 1 hour for your career, 1 hour for yourself. Now, Mr. Chen was crystal clear about this. For the system to actually work, these 3 rules were absolute. First, no negotiation. 5 a.m. means 5 a.m. every single day. Second, you can't cheat sleep and expect to win. You have to be in bed by 9 p.m. And third, and this is so important, you have to accept that the first week is going to be absolute hell. But if you can just push through for 90 days, it's not a habit anymore, it's just who you are. So look, a great plan is one thing, but actually doing it, that's everything. So let's take a look at Thomas's 90-day journey and the very real results that came from his discipline. This timeline really just captures the whole arc of his transformation perfectly. Day 1 was pure agony. He was dead tired, forcing himself to watch these free Excel tutorials. But then, right around day 21, something clicked. His body adapted. He started waking up before his alarm. The whole new routine started to feel natural. And then on day 87, boom, the reward. He gets offered a new day shift job in accounting for double his old salary. It just shows you the direct path from struggle to habit to a life-changing reward. And listen, that 90-day challenge, that was just the beginning. Within a single year, Thomas went from a night security guard to the company's lead accountant. He didn't just stop waking up at 5 a.m. once he got the job. No way. It had become his identity. It was the foundation for all of his growth. So Thomas's story is just powerful proof that your life can absolutely change, and it can start tomorrow morning. So now let's turn this from his story into your action plan. This quote from Thomas really just sums up the entire philosophy, doesn't it? Success isn't some far-off place you get to one day. It's the result of what you do every single day. It's a daily practice. And for him and for anyone who adopts this, that practice begins with the simple discipline of that 5 a.m. alarm. So here it is, your challenge straight from Mr. Chen's playbook. Step 1. Tonight, set your alarm for 5 a.m. and put your phone all the way across the room so you physically have to get up. Step 2. Decide right now what one skill you're going to start building in that first hour. And step 3. Protect your 9 p.m. bedtime like your life depends on it. Because those wasted evenings, they are the enemy of successful mornings. You know, the only thing standing between where you are right now and where you want to be is how you use the time that nobody else is using. Think about it. Thomas had no money, no connections, no fancy degree. All he had was a choice. Your future self is waiting for you on the other side of that alarm clock. The only question left is, are you going to show up for them tomorrow at 5 a.m.?